Boys, we talk a lot about food, and I'm here for it. I think it's a great thing.
Big
Spoiler
fan of
alert.
food.
We're going to talk about food tonight.
Okay.
But this, what is the one food out there that if you could like it, you would like it? What is the food you want to like the most that you don't like?
Oh man,
Interesting. It's interesting.
It's a tough one.
I'm trying to think because there's not
It could be anything.
there's not a lot of stuff that I've tasted and been like, oh god,
I have two.
Okay.
I refuse to say emos because
No, that deserves to be terrible.
Yeah,
And
strike that from the
I
list.
never want to like that.
Things.
toasted ravioli. I wish that I liked toasted ravioli more.
You don't like toasted ravioli?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What?
How do you not like
How
it?
did I just learn this?
It always
Also,
tastes
how
like
did you pick just like the two most St. Louis foods possible? Like you have the entire world of food, and you're like, I don't know, both the local things.
It gets uncomfortable. Like
You
it
don't
is right
like
now.
toasted? You don't like
Wow.
toasted ravioli?
It's fine.
What's-
I've never had
what's
toasted
wrong with it?
ravioli and been like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's like, okay, this feels like it's been under a heat lamp for 3 hours. It's like a ravioli that fell on the ground and got covered in bread crumbs.
Okay.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Yeah, it accidentally got way better.
It's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, there's some, I think, I look at it like, that's going to be fucking delicious. And then I bite into it and the edges are all like chewy, but also hard at the same time.
Sounds great.
Sounds like you've been eating some fucking reheated frozen
Yeah,
ones.
I think the problem is I've never had really good frozen ravioli. So
I'm a guy who just I like heat lamp food for whatever reason. Like I'm the guy. I think I've said it on the show before. Like I like bad Chinese buffet better than I like good Chinese buffet. Like there's just something about.
I mean, Chinese, the dingier the better.
I had some fire Chinese. Anyway, toasted ravioli and emos.
Yeah.
Solid picks.
I don't want to like emos. Fuck emos.
Okay.
I wish I liked toasted
That's also fair.
raviolis.
That's also fair. Emos
Chase,
does make
you said
toasted
you have
raviolis.
two.
They're way better than any
make a
of
good
the
meatball
pizzas
sub.
for sure.
And I like their hot wings.
I have two. I think it's mostly out of convenience in that I find it very inconvenient to dislike both of these foods. Whether it's ordering something at a restaurant without it or just avoiding those entree options that I think if I did like these two things, I would probably just enjoy my life more. One of them is mushrooms. Hate mushrooms. Just can't do it. And they seem to be in everything. And like the whole idea of I mean I'm happy to eat the meat that I eat. I'm a meat eater and I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I'm okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with eating meat. It's fine. But the idea when somebody's like, oh yeah, like portobello burger, and I'm like, I don't know. I wish I could try that. I just hate them. I hate them so much.
That's fine.
And then the other one is just fish, general. There's not a lot of fish that I've been
the Midwestern
into.
in you, man.
I guess. Like
there's good panfish here, but not a lot.
Yeah, like I'll
we'll
eat
go
a
to the
fish
KC
stick.
Hall on a Friday during Lent.
Hell yeah.
I'll do like some fried fish. That's totally fine. I like getting fish and chips at a restaurant, but like when I go get sushi, I'm getting the stuff with the crab in it. I'm getting like a California roll or a spider roll. Yeah, and I wish that I could look at a sushi menu and not just go, oh well, I guess I'm gonna get one of the three things that I always get, and instead could eat anything on this incredibly colorful and cool menu.
Yeah, dude.
That's a fair one.
I'm just not a big fan of many fish. How about you, Bobby?
I think at the top of that list, I would put olives. I wish that I could get into olives for a lot of reasons. Like I love gin. I think like a martini with an olive would be good, or like on a pizza or a taco. And then the other one is like it's a two-way tie because I like them, but I'm very, very peculiar about it. I would say onions and tomatoes. I like both of those just fine. Like I'll eat salsa all day long.
A
I
bad
like ketchup.
tomato can ruin a sandwich.
A bad tomato can. I don't like raw onion or raw tomato.
Sandwich. Yeah, exactly. Raw tomatoes. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No, you get a garden grown one.
No, man.
Babe,
like
I'll eat a tomato sandwich with.
I
mayo,
also don't
salt,
like
and
pico
pepper.
de gallo for that reason. Like I like salsa because I can blend it up and it's more of like a paste. But like I don't want pico de gallo.
That's the first time I've ever heard someone refer to salsa as paste.
Well, I mean, I don't know, like pureed. What the fuck you want me to say?
I mean, it makes sense what you said. It's just funny that you said it.
I'm not.
That's
our discouraging you from doing
the casual hour. It makes sense what we said. It was just funny how we said it.
You know, like it's like a paste made of tomatoes, like a sort of tomato paste, but not tomato
a paste.
Salsa.
But a paste. You know what I mean?
Mexican tomato paste.
If you like these hot takes, boy howdy, have you found the right place.
Do you like
the casual hour, the pastiest podcast this side of Mississippi?
That's true. We're all very white.
Now we have our title for this.
Tonight is a very fun episode. It's one that we've kind of done, not directly. I don't think we've ever like called it out like we are this year. This is a what you've been playing, but instead of the news, we're doing a mid-year check-in, and we're recording this on June 7th. It is the 328th episode of the show. This is the same week. Tomorrow is the big Summer Games Fest, the key 3, if you will. There's been a lot of fun stuff happening.
That's tomorrow?
That's tomorrow. Yep. And so we've got a lot of fun stuff happening in the industry. It's a week where you're going to hear much better podcasters say much better things than us. However,
we are the de facto.
I doubt that.
We're the de facto. Yeah. We're going to collect our thoughts.
All the good podcasts, right?
That's true. We're going to get our thoughts together, and next week we're going to do a proper recap of just that. Know what you've been playing, nothing. But tonight we thought it would be only fair, being the beginning of June. Let's do a check-in. How's our backlog doing? How are we feeling about the year? Is there anything today that we're excited about? Because everything's going to look different tomorrow when we see into the future with Jeff Keighley's beautiful eyes. So we're going to tell you about the games we're playing, and then we're going to get into where we stand with the games that we haven't been playing potentially. But to kick all that off, Chase Kennecke. Chase, what you been playing?
Fuck video games.
He hates them, everybody. This man hates these cans. And by cans, I mean video games.
I haven't been playing much. I just haven't been in a video game mood. I mean, I could tell you, yes, I still check in on Fire Emblem Heroes each day and don't spend money, and I feel pretty good about that.
That's I can tell the real
you that
game.
I could tell you that I did my Destiny weeklies today, because that's a thing I do.
Can you just do a really quick interruption on my end? Sorry. Can you give me a actual review number without any context, just a number? How's this season? 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
I honestly can't give you that, because I would say it's an incomplete for me, because I have not played enough of it to really know. I've kind of dipped out most weeks. I've just been doing those weeklies, like I said, but I haven't really engaged with the story stuff too much. I've only done the seasonal match made activities a couple of times. They seem neat. Some of those guns seem real good. They brought back some classics, but I don't feel I've played enough to really say.
Fair.
It's fine. I think it's cool to kind of be back on Titan, but it is also not a planet that you can go to and walk around like you could before. It's just, hey, there are things that you can do, and those things are on Titan, but you pick them out from the helm.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
Okay. So you've been taking a little siesta, a sabbatical, a walkabout.
Yeah,
just doing the bare minimum.
I mean, I know I'll get back to Zelda, and I'm excited to get back to Zelda. I bought all those fucking amiibo things, and
use those, man.
I have to use those. I think I only have one full costume. I think I've got the Of Time outfit, but I don't have any of the other full sets yet. So yeah, lots of stuff I still want to do with that. I mean, I could tell you, I still want to go back and play more Super Robot Wars 30, and sure. I still want to. I think the big one, I was talking to Johnny about this earlier. I would like to go back and play Advance Wars 2. After finishing 1, yes. I started the second one in the reboot camp, and then just kind of left it there because there were other games that going on. I know I need to still play more Mutant Zero, and I need to play more. I need to play Codename Steam now, and I'm excited to.
I'm sorry, that's still very funny to me.
I think
it is. I'm excited to play more Mutant Zero. I'm less excited to play any Codename Steam. But
looking at the month ahead for you, Chase, I don't think that there's a lot happening, at least in the front half of the month. So yeah, there's plenty of time to hop into it. I do think you're going to check out wrestling at the end of the month, though, right?
Oh yeah, the AEW wrestling game. I looked up WrestleQuest. That's showing up in August now. They're saying so.
Okay,
we'll see about that.
Nice.
But yeah, the AEW game. I don't think that's going to be something that I'm going to have to pour 80 hours into the first week or anything. I think it's going to be, oh, this is cool. I'll play it every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think really the question for me is whether I feel compelled to play Final Fantasy when that comes out.
I've been hearing like a roller coaster with that game. Like I've heard people like what, and then like high excitement after some preview stuff, and then some hand-on stuff. It sounds like a pretty big.
I'll tell you the funniest thing is that Square Enix, marketing champions that they are, cannot not trip over their own dick and just have they have been doing constant Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
It's amazing
tweets, and like, dude, like you're just about to put out another like mainline Final Fantasy game, but why do you keep telling people about the other Final Fantasy video game that's not coming until much later this year, if at all this year?
But it's also the most banal stuff. Like, there's going to be new music in this game. Like,
right. Like the one I saw was like, oh, do I have to play Final Fantasy VII Remake before I play Rebirth?
No, of course not. Of course they're going to say no.
Of course. What else would you fucking say on your official channel? Like,
hey, I'm adding something to our note really quick.
Catch-up mechanic to allow people to understand Final Fantasy VII Rebirth without having to play Remake. Like, are you fucking crazy?
We haven't done anything like this on air, at least for a while.
Yeah.
1 to 10, what's the score of this game consensus going to be, you think?
No. Okay.
I'm going to make a note in our note. We'll come back to it when it happens. But Chase, 1 to 10, where do you think the overall average of Final Fantasy 16 will hit?
Do I get half points?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the IGN answer of 7.
Johnny?
I think we'll get a lot of 8s.
This Price is Right rules.
I'm gonna go 6. 7, 6, 8.
All right.
I look, as the resident Final Fantasy fanboy here, I'm really excited. I haven't seen what you were talking, like all the stuff I've seen from the people that I follow who have played the game, all came away very positive feeling about it. So I would be interested in having you share what you've seen that maybe contradicts that.
I would say this much, like I'm excited for Final Fantasy to morph into something unknown.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wanted that unknown to be so quickly identified as DMC. And that's like, I really would love to see this franchise step up and do something inventive. Not that this isn't. And I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. I haven't played a whole lot of these games, but I think it's interesting that would be the target that they would say. I prefer that over a Soulsborne or a Souls-like type game, where that seems like they could have easily leaned into like that aesthetic with this game and the setting and gone more of a Souls-like. So I would rather take DMC over that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what it would be. I can't tell you it's not that, but I don't love those types of games myself.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think it's something I need to really just get my hands on before I can make a judgment call here. Because, I mean, Final Fantasy 13 kind of, 15 definitely, and Remake have all gone in a much more action-y direction.
Yeah.
And so I can see how you connect the dots to get to 16 being the way it is.
For sure.
I still want to know what that actually feels like.
Is it true that he made everybody watch Game of Thrones? That's true, right?
I mean, it would not shock me in the least because that game looks extremely Game of Thrones.
It was directly inspired by Game of Thrones.
All right.
Which just bums me out. I mean, we talked about it before, but that is just not my. That is not my kind of Final Fantasy.
It's a bold Final Fantasy move for sure.
And I'm extremely into that.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. I'm very curious. I'm very curious what they're doing.
Yeah, it could be trash. I hated Final Fantasy 13, so it can go either way. But I'm still I'm still trying to be positive.
Anyway, I did play one video game, kind of.
Oh.
I played it for like the last 20 minutes before the show started, so I could say I played something new. I played Sandtrix, which is the Tetris with sand.
This is what I sent you, right?
Thank you for reminding me that this exists.
So I forgot that it existed. I just loaded up Itch to see like, oh, I'll just play something, and it was on the front page of Itch, and I went, oh yeah, right, that one. I wanted to try that out, and so I did try it out, and I'll tell you, it's a cool idea, and I think it's bad. Well, bad might be the wrong term. I'm not good at it, and I don't know how to get good at it. And
you just
make
the sand go across.
No, I understand that. I just found it. I found it very difficult. I think maybe they have one too many colors in the options.
This is for anybody who's not aware. This is just Tetris, but the blocks become sand with physics, right?
Right. The blocks start out as tetraminos, whatever you want to call them, and then as soon as they land, they immediately start to fall apart, and the physics takes over and gravity takes over, and they just kind of all sift together. So the idea is that you want to get a line of sand, and it can be like 1 pixel height of sand, but you want one layer of sand to go from one side of the screen to the other, all connected in one color, and that will destroy everything touching that bit of sand that is that color. So as long as there's 1 pixel of blue here, even if you got this giant chunk of blue on the left side, it would take out that entire chunk of blue, and then it can kind of set up combos. And I did set up, at one point, I set up like a 3-color combo, and it was very cool. But it's just really hard because they do give you an indicator. Okay, this is the next color. They don't give you the shape that you're going to get next, but they do give you the next color that you're going to get. And the shapes kind of don't matter because they just fall into sand.
You lay it flat, like, it's going to distribute differently than if you
it looks like it's like
yes.
I would say the biggest it could be is like 4 spots, right?
It's basically that sand art from when we were kids.
Yeah. Like it's 6 Flags.
It's very cool. It's very cool to look at. I think it would be cooler for me if it was a screensaver rather than a thing that I played. It was just very difficult. I played the browser version. It's neat looking. I just wasn't very good at it. I think my high score was like 13,000 or something, which didn't feel very good at all. And I only played on the endless mode. They have a number of modes there, but
I don't know why I just thought about this, but could you imagine playing this on a device like a Switch or Steam Deck or your phone that has a gyroscope in it, and you can like tilt it, and like the sand would react to like how you're tilting it to like spread it a little bit?
That would either be incredibly broken or incredibly broken the other way, and that it would fuck you over entirely.
But that would be kind of cool, like to be able to, I think. But Johnny,
you also just had like an Etch-a-Sketch style where you can just shake it up and go, fuck this.
I'm saying, man, like I'm surprised. You know how these things go. There'll probably be a version that's on a phone somewhere soon. But I'm glad you're playing it. This looks cool. I was hoping one of us would check it out.
Yeah, I don't think I'll go back to it, but it was a neat thing to try out for 20 minutes. It's a fun tech demo thing of I made Tetris, but it has physics to it. That's kind of neat, but I think the game itself is not an all-timer that's going to keep me coming back,
For sure.
Well,
I'm glad one of us got to it. Yeah, trying something out. I like that you're sticking to the itch plan. That's fucking cool. That place needs a little bit more love, and we don't talk about it enough. So good on you for that.
It's a good place for
been
weird
playing
games.
some Zelda. He's been playing some Diablo. We chatted a bit about
playing Diablo.
Sorry, Destiny. The other D word that we don't talk about.
Yes, right. I've been playing the other game where I'm finding purples and oranges.
You're just
and all
playing
that
Space
shit,
Destiny or Space Diablo.
Yeah.
And then Sandtrix there we chatted about. Cool. I've been playing a couple new things, and I'm going to let Johnny kind of weigh in near the back end of this, but I'm still playing a ton of Zelda, which is not a new thing, but I did make time to check out a little bit more. I've talked offline about it, but not on the show. Starship Troopers Extermination. This came out in early access around May 17th. It is made by Off-World Industries, also published by them as well. This is a really cool concept. So if you're familiar with Starship Troopers, it's all of that kind of kitschy bullshit that you would expect from that. But this is a PvE game. I don't want to say it's a PvP or PvEVP. There are other teams that you are competing against on a score alone, but not interfering with each other. So there's like 4 teams that go out on each match, and at the end it shows you your total score for the game, which is cool. I like that. That's what I want.
Yeah, like a competitive PvE.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
It is.
So this downloaded. I haven't played it yet though.
This is a first-person game, and it's a pretty straightforward approach. So I would say it's kind of an extraction game, only in the sense that it's more of an extraction like Deep Rock Galactic. It's very much like that game. It's like a Deep Rock game. You go into a resource phase where you're collecting material that once you have enough of that, you're still dealing with invasions of the bugs, and it's like on a meter of how intense the invasions will get based off of how long you've been doing the work. Once you get all the material you're going for, you go into a building phase where you're fortifying your base to basically become like a tower defense. And then it's a giant fucking horde of your base trying to withstand what is this onslaught while you're waiting for an extraction to pick you up and take you out. So what's cool about it is the base is like bunkers, it's watchtowers, there's automated turrets. Each team has 3 classes. You can have an assault that has like a jetpack, you have a heavy gunner, and then you have a support unit. So you can play your role while all this is going down on how you want to like either post up and just be feeding bullets into the bugs, or if you want to be more of a scout, getting resources using your jetpack, bouncing around. There's a lot of cool shit that you can do with it. I got to tell you, I went through the tutorial, which is very much just you playing by yourself, learning it, to being matchmaked, because it's only that way. Like you have to play with a team of 16. One of the coolest things I've experienced, and probably the wrong way, was going through the steps and having the extraction take place, because it's all proximity chat at that point in time. And these guys were fucking role playing it in a big way. And while Johnny, you and I played a lot of Deep Rock. You know how spicy it gets while you're trying to get that last man on the ship. Mm-hmm. These guys are screaming, "Get on the fucking boat!" And dude, like, it was fucking insane what was happening, because like I have not seen so much chaos of these bugs coming to like rip you off the ship. Because there's like 4 or 5 different variants of the bugs that I saw, and like one is giant and like a bombardier. But the guys that were like, "You'll be left behind with these fucking bugs if you don't get on," like just like playing it up, and I'm like cracking up. I'm like crying listening to these guys, because I've done the bare.
Taking it seriously, man.
This is my first one. I've done the bare minimum. Like I've shot some bugs. I've maybe repaired one of the walls, and I was the first fucking ass on the fucking jet to get out of there. So I'm like shooting over shoulders, and these guys are just screaming bloody murder at the bugs, at each other. 10 out of 10, man. It was such a fucking good experience.
Yeah,
like,
I see multiple reviews that say I'm doing my part.
Dude, that's exactly the sentiment of the game. It's, as much as you like Deep Rock Galactic, I think that you will
and
really
I love Starship Troopers.
Oh, dude, you will absolutely love what this is.
Does it nail the tone?
It nails the tone going into it.
Does it feel satirical?
It does when you're going into it. The one thing I'll call out also, you level up the class that you're playing as. So I got to like level 4 with one of the classes, and I unlocked a new gun, a new perk. So it's like one of those types of games where you're building skill off the class you spend time with. There's already 15,000 reviews on Steam for an early access game. It's sitting at a very positive.
Like, it's doing well.
I know they have plans to go to console. This thing's a ton of fun. I would love to play this on stream one night with you, just so you could see how fucking absurd this thing gets. It's bonkers for sure.
Yeah, this will be one I'll definitely pick up. I just wish listed it.
Nice. So that's Starship Troopers Extermination. Early access came out again in May. It does cost $24.99. The other game I'll talk about, Johnny mentioned it last week. He's been gracious enough to let me play a bit of his copy, but I've been playing Street Fighter 6, and Johnny, I know that you're playing this game, but I was hoping I could share just a hot take for what it's worth. I haven't ever really seriously played Street Fighter. I played it back in the day, Street Fighter 1 and Street Fighter 2. Like, I love what those games stood for.
You played Street Fighter 1?
Or Street Fighter, I'm sorry, but
no, you played Street Fighter 1?
I played both. I played Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2.
Okay. I just don't, not a lot of people have played Street Fighter 1.
Yeah. My best friend's older brother was super into them. And so I played both of those games growing up at his house with those guys. Like, that was the shit that they really dug. Like, that was his thing. And it was cool to play over there, but I kind of fell off. Like, I was a Mortal Kombat kid and I played Smash and shit, but I haven't played a Street Fighter game probably since those two. And
not even 4, like at all, like with friends on the okay.
Nothing. I just never, I stopped playing them. So when I saw these reviews going on, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It looks fun. Johnny picked it up, so I had an opportunity to play it. I got to tell you, I'm having so much fun with this game. It is an absolute fucking blast. And I've only done the world stuff, like the campaign, and I have no desire to play people online or honestly to play people in person. Like, this is perfect for me. And I haven't laughed audibly this hard at a game in some time. And the non-assuming people that I just have just been uppercutting to, like, no, like, I'm huge in this game. Like, I built myself and I tower over everyone in the game. It's hysterical just physically to see my character wearing a tank top and very, very short joggers and a hot pink trucker hat and Boston glasses, as they call them in the game, walk up and just uppercut an old lady, in the face, a food truck vendor, a cop, anybody that looks at me the wrong way is getting the smoke in Metro City. and I cannot tell you how fucking much I love this, just beating the shit out of people, but like getting a high five for it afterwards. Like this, I've only played a little bit of Yakuza and I've watched more of it, but for some reason this is like big Yakuza energy to me.
It is, yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah, you're in this like city area and there's like, you're fighting people constantly. It's
like, here's some absurdity, but then we all kind of snap back to like a reality kind of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one thing I think is really cool, the gear in the game is being basically done in a way that improves. Like, I did not expect gear to have an impact on your stats. And I did not also realize that they were going to let me learn from the characters I remember. Mm-hmm. And you're really maxing out or managing 2 bars. Like, one is your level and then one is your style. And as you fight in that style, I'm fighting as Luke right now. I just have Luke and Chun-Li. You're increasing that, which then you can unlock new movesets that you can equip. Like, that's great. There's a whole skill tree that you can, I want my kicks to be stronger, or my punches to be stronger. I got to say, my character and Chun-Li stance is a sight to be seen, though.
I bet.
Imagine.
It's very good.
So have you only really been playing with your created character? You haven't played with any of the
No,
cast?
I mean, like, if you're doing the story, you're an up and coming fighter that's being taught by the cast. And so you go out of a dojo into the city and then you're passed off to Chun-Li, and that's the second stance that you learn. But I think that you'll probably end up learning at least the current cast that they have.
I think it's all stances.
Of them.
Yeah. Because this is how you also, like, you have social links basically with these characters that are training you, and that is how you unlock like their classic costume if you don't want to pay money for it. And then you adopt their fighting style, but you also can mix up what your special moves are.
Yes,
which awesome. I think is really cool. So if you like, I love the way that Marissa plays just normally, but I really fucking love Chun-Li's special attack. You can do that if you want.
It's so good. Like, the free form that you can do with that is, and you called it out last week, Johnny, but for just a very casual, way out of touch, nostalgic fucking slub like myself, that new control mechanism is a dream come true. It just makes it so much better.
Yep.
like to like do like one button, like a modifier button and a face button to do a combo or a special move, versus like knowing what keystrokes
or
to
circle
put in.
forward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's insanely good. I'm having an incredible time with it.
That was the nice thing about like a game like Persona 4 Arena, is that, you know, it still had all the complexity there for the and I guess Dragon Ball Fighters in the same
Sure.
breath, made by the same people. That, hey, if you know your shit, you can pull off these crazy combos and get the most out of this stuff and optimize and optimize and optimize, and you're still going to be the pro player. But if you're a casual player, you can kind of just hit X 3 times and we'll give you a combo. It's not going to be the most optimal ideal combo,
or it'll be debuffed a little bit.
Yeah, like you're either going to get less damage, or you're not going to get an opportunity to follow up on it like somebody who did it the quote unquote real way would have done it. But it was something that a casual player could pick it up, and whether they're just button mashing or incorporating it into like a beginner style, they're still able to find some joy out of that. So I think it's really cool that the Street Fighter and Capcom are kind of taking that as well and finding ways to incorporate that. I also kind of remember when they did that with Smash Brothers, like, oh hey, we brought in Ryu in Smash Brothers.
You can do a Dragon Punch.
You can do the Dragon Punch motion, and if you do, he gets extra damage or he gets extra knockback off it. But you can also just do it the Smash Brothers way, and you can still perform all these moves. You just get that little bonus by doing it the classic way.
It's cool, man. Like the whole city, like running through the city does remind me of Persona quite a bit, actually. Because the shops are very similar. You can go in and there's like a food truck. There's other places you can get food. You can go and change your appearance, and then you can buy clothing. It does look like there's some sort of battle pass, or at least an economy in the game that lets you buy stuff. You can spend money on the game to buy like gear or classic outfits as well. I don't know how far I'll go with it, but I got to tell you, I had full intentions to play a lot of Diablo today, and I ended up playing hours of Street Fighter. I think I'm like level.
I noticed.
Yeah, I'm like okay. I'm like level 17 or 18 now. Johnny, have you found the superhero watching the city?
I've seen screenshots of him,
but you haven't found him yet.
Encountered him yet? Or wait, no, I have. He's
like
up on top of a building. Yeah.
So you can see a level next to the people that are walking around, and I had only been seeing people mostly like 1 to 5, and a few people that were out there at your level each time you would go up. And I found that you can like interact with the environment by using your special ability to like bust down walls and shit. So I started to explore a bit more, and I found this fucking guy up on the roof. I'm like, what? He's like a level 28. And I was like, I want to beat your ass, because I didn't know I didn't know what level I was when the game first started, and I immediately turned around. You know the guy that's juggling fire?
Yeah,
that's the first fight I got in. He's a level 9. I was level 1. I haven't played Street Fighter in a long time.
You got fucking worked, didn't you?
No, he got worked.
No?
I gave him the smoke, and that jumped me up like to level 4 right away.
Oh, nice. I know that there's an HP difference, and that like even though I'm beating the hell out of this person, like their health isn't going down very much, and I end up getting knocked out.
Chase, I think that you would really like the world tour. I think you would find it very cool.
I bet I would, but I also just know, I mean, because I have a handful of fighting games in my collection that have all had this same amount, and games I've been extremely excited about. Dragon Ball Fighters at the top of the list, where it's I love this game. I'll buy all of its DLC. I'll come back to it every once in a while, but it's just not something I can stick with. The best time for me was Marvel vs. Capcom 3 in college, because I had a group of friends who wanted to play that every other weekend or whenever we got together, which was quite often. It was like, all right, let's just play more Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. We started playing Street Fighter 4, and that was fine, but then we all switched to Marvel vs. Capcom, which was way cooler for me. That's a series I'm way more into. But yeah, just like Johnny was talking before we started recording that he's kind of found this friend group of people he can play with online, and I don't have that. Even against you guys, I don't have that. I don't know if I'm good at fighting games. I know when we played, Johnny and I tried to do this with Dragon Ball. We played once or twice, and it was fine. But I don't think we had competitive enough matches where it felt like, oh, we want to keep doing this and keep making each other better. I think it was kind of just, yep, okay, we did that, and let's not do that again, I guess. And I like that game, but yeah, it's a complicated thing I have with fighting games where I just can't find
I don't know if I want to
seem to find that consistency with it.
I don't think I want to play online for sure. Johnny, how far are you in it, by the way? Like, you've been playing it for a while now, right?
Yeah, I'm at 12 and a half hours.
Oh shit. Okay.
I don't remember what level I am in World Tour mode. But I have 3 masters that I can use the style of. I got Marissa was the last one I got today.
Nice.
Who she's I think she's Greek, and she's huge.
Yeah.
And she, like, I forget what style of fighting it is, but it's man,
punch you in the goddamn face fighting. That's what it is. Oh my god,
just land some fucking haymakers that do tons of damage. Most of my time has been spent playing online.
Really?
I'm maining Cammy. That's who I decided to go with.
Did you get your controller?
No, it's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. I was gonna get to that. So yeah, I'm playing on my Xbox Elite controller, and I've had like a long storied history with fighting games. I was obsessed with MK on my Sega Genesis. I got way into Soul Calibur for a while. I played a lot of Street Fighter 4 back in the day, but I've never taken the time to quote unquote get good at a fighting game. It's always just been a thing like me and my friends pick up and we play it together and then we move on. But like I've always wanted to learn to be like halfway decent at a fighting game. And I feel like I was thinking last night actually about this. Like it's kind of like my decision to like fully commit to getting into like a horror game. You know, like it's the only thing keeping me from doing this is myself, right?
Go on.
Yeah. So I have, and I've been like practicing, and I have a friend who's pretty good at the game that's been giving me some pointers, and we just happened to be we totally was like, who are you maining? And I said Cammy, and said, oh, that's funny, that's who I'm maining too. So that's been helpful because he's like learning how to play the character. And man, it's just really good. Like I can't believe how much fun I'm having with a new Street Fighter game. And I think this could be the one. And as you alluded to, Bobby, I bought an arcade stick. I bought the 8-bit Do arcade stick.
Not the new one they just announced, right? This is their older model.
I think that they're the same. It's just this new one is like Xbox and PC. The one I bought is Switch and PC, but you can there's a company that sells an adapter that lets you plug in anything to your PlayStation. So like if I wanted to use this on, say, like Guilty Gear Strive, which I own, I could plug it in there and use it there. I'm in the rookie second. I'm a second class rookie or 2-star rookie.
You I lost. Yes, you are.
You have to play 10 matches to get ranked.
I'm a 5-star man.
Yeah. You play 10 matches. I won 2 out of 10.
Okay.
And I even though I've only been playing this for a few days online, I can tell I'm getting better at the game, and I'm learning when to block. I'm learning, like, I've watched so many different videos the last few days of people who are actually good at the game, like. And I think that's one of my favorite things about the fighting game community too, is like you have all these people who like want to teach you and like help you be better at the game because they're so passionate about it. And yeah, it's fantastic. Like it's one of the best games I played this year. Like as of right now, as of right now, like I plan on sticking with it. I bought a fucking arcade stick, which I can use for other things, but the primary function is going to be like, because in my head, like I have problems like with the way, like, because it's a 6-button fighter, so like not all of your buttons are on the face.
Right.
You have to remember like, oh, the right bumper is heavy punch, right trigger is heavy kick. And that stuff gets mixed up in my head sometimes, and the D-pad on there isn't the best, and I don't know, like part of my brain is like, I think it'll be easier to remember the motions and like nail them if I have this thing specifically built to do this task. Or maybe that's just what I told myself to justify.
Play some Pac-Man.
We all justify it to ourselves in some form of fashion.
Yeah, so I'm just having a great time.
I'll say I haven't been so excited for the next Evo since the first year Dragon Ball Fighters came out.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Street Fighter is usually the biggest game, right? And 5 came out to such a tepid, honestly, Bobby, I've talked about this. I think that this Street Fighter being as good as it is owes itself to Monster Hunter World.
Yeah,
dude, I think Capcom
is on this a crazy roll right now, and it is all kind of thanks to Monster Hunter. There were so many rumors out there that Capcom's probably the next company to get bought, and then that game did so well and was so impressive, even if I wasn't the biggest fan.
And now they are like in this renaissance period.
They're just
keep putting out bangers.
We should do a deep dive on them, Johnny.
Maybe we should.
Just the first half. Of the company, and then we'll.
They have an even longer history than Bungie. Oh my god. And then just very very quickly, I beat Jedi Survivor. I hit credits on that last night or the night before.
Oh yeah.
And I think that game is head and shoulders above what Fallen Order was, both in terms of like gameplay. I like the story more in this one. I think.
This is your favorite Star Wars game?
See, I've never finished KOTOR. I never played all of KOTOR, so that feels unfair. But
how much KOTOR 2 have you played?
None. I played a few hours of KOTOR on my phone when it came out on iOS like 10 years ago. So yeah, I finished that.
They're in my Steam library. You should play them on your Steam Deck. That'd be a good place to play them.
Okay. I own them on Steam.
Yeah.
And then Bobby, you and I still been going to hell. Playing,
Diablo 4
that's what I've been saying.
Officially out, right? Like not just for us.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Officially. If you're not a rube like us,
do you want me to come back in like 20 minutes and you guys can
I don't think we're going to talk a lot about it. I really don't. Like
we streamed it on Friday.
We've covered it before on the stream. We've covered it in the betas when they were out. Like my elevator pitch, Johnny, I think it's really fucking solid. I think it's the best Diablo game I've played, and I am enjoying the game more and more the further I get along. I'm level 43.
How many Diablo games have you played? 3?
2, 3, Immortal, and now 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you, man. The only other Diablo game I played besides this is 3 on my Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I played a tiny bit of Diablo 2 Resurrected on the PS5, and I was like, this doesn't feel that good, and I didn't play any more of it. But
it feels very old.
Yeah, it does. I'm rolling a sorceress. I've tweaked my build last night, and I ran through a dungeon with my cousin earlier, and I think that I made the right call because I was doing big damage. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I don't think that we need to.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that game, and we're gonna be Johnny and I, unless some crazy stuff happens over the next few weeks. We're probably gonna be playing
the game.
Yeah, this is like our casual Friday game for a while, and we'll talk more about that here in a bit. But
big damage, big damage,
big damage. So just to recap really quick, we talked about Sand Tricks, we talked about Starship Troopers Extermination, we talked about Street Fighter 6, a little bit on Jedi Survivor, and a little bit on Diablo 4. We're gonna head into the mid-year check-in. So Not that I think there'll be any spoilers to a big degree, but we are going to be talking about games that we've completed or not completed a bit. We're going to be talking about games we like a whole lot, so there might be some stuff brought up. If you are, I don't think we're going to be intentional with it, but just wanted to put that out there from a heads up standpoint for anybody listening.
More like the mid year.
I gotta say I disagree with you, man.
No, I'm not saying that is true. There's been some very good games. I've even played one or two of them.
Well, why don't let's kick it off with, like, I guess this is the part where we should say we're all very high on Zelda. If you've been listening for several weeks, yes. This is the least we've talked about it. But we've kind of been saying that we want to wait till end of the year.
Yeah,
we all really, really like Zelda. I think that's a fair thing to say, right?
Yeah. I think we can keep this a Zelda-free discussion, just knowing it is inevitable.
Why don't you guys give me, outside of Zelda, maybe like 2 or 3 games that have impacted you? You don't have to say it's your favorite, or maybe even one that will make your list, but if it does, that's fine. But like, what are like 2 more games that you've just been really taken by this year?
Dead Space.
Sure.
I think about that game a lot. And Octopath Traveler 2. I need to get back to that game. I've played it for a little over 17 hours.
Played it for spite. That's what you've played it for.
I did. It was a spite purchase. I think that game is incredible. I think it has some of the best music I've ever heard in a game, like, period. Nice. I really like all the characters. I love the combat. I think having this to balance the new action-oriented direction that, like, mainline Final Fantasy is going to, like, there's still a thing for you if you enjoy this, like, more traditional turn-based art style of RPG. And I just think it's incredibly well done. Like, I know that the first one, like, soured, like, you guys, I think, right?
Yeah.
And totally. It's been just an absolute joy for me when I've been playing it, and I fully intend, which, you know, the road to hell and all that, but I want to get through at least the halfway point on this game
nice.
Before the end of the year. But
so what we call bargaining, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Dead Space remake and Octopath 2 for Johnny's high points. Chase.
I mean, I've especially wearing this Nintendo branded shirt, it's going to be hard to believe me when I say I wish it wasn't just Nintendo games, but it's kind of just Nintendo games. I mean, Fire Emblem Engage, I had a really good time with it. I think the longer I go, the more distance I get away from it, the less impressed I am with it. I think I was really hot on it in the moment. And that game still has DLC that's out that I have not played. Story DLC, like the Fel Xenologue stuff that I know I would enjoy if I just got back into it. I just haven't found the time, haven't made the time. And even though I really enjoy that game, it's going to be in my top 10. It's really just a matter of how high it gets. It's not something I'm thinking about most days.
Sure.
I talked about it earlier. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. I think that was.
I just want to go back to that.
It's solid. It's just super solid, but also it's kind of just the same games again. I kind of could go back and play those games on the GBA and like the art style better and probably have a just as good of a time, if not a better time. But it was nice to have that as an excuse of, oh, new video game, so I can play this again. But it is, I mean, that's just a video game I like playing.
Sure.
I mean, and this one's also cheating, but I'd say the best game I've played outside of Zelda this year has been The Last Guardian, which was a backlog roulette game, but certainly not something I can count in 2023. But it was
maybe the best non-20.
Yeah, like so far, that's gonna take that spot. That game's just really good, and I am pissed at myself for not having played it when it was new. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look at this list of other things that I've played, and
well, you've given 3, right?
Technically, yeah. But I'm like looking at this list and I'm going, I don't know. I played The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think I'm gonna claim that as an incredible game. I didn't play enough Hi-Fi Rush, but I think that game's kind of cool. I don't know. I mean, yeah. So it is kind of just all Nintendo stuff for me, unfortunately.
Fair.
But that's just how I feel right now.
I mean, Hi-Fi. You mentioned Hi-Fi Rush. That's a high point for me this year for sure. I was very surprised across the board, and I have, interestingly enough, a few of the tracks that they used from that time period, when I've heard them since playing the game, have a different meaning to me now. Like I associate them with some stuff I was doing in the game, and that's really cool because as an elder millennial, growing up and really becoming my own self in the early 2000s, I fell in love with that style of music and have been chasing that sound for a while, and this game did a great job with that, while also making me care about a genre and making me care about a group of people, kind of like I felt like I was in a Persona game again in a lot of ways. Like just I really dig the writing and the people that you get to meet and hang out with in this game. They've done a fantastic job there. And then the other one is it's a game that I will probably be talking about in my backlog here in a moment, but Everspace 2 has just blown me away completely. I've loved that game from early access, and playing it in 1.0 has not been anything besides amazing for me, and really am excited for Rockfish and what they've put out. It's been very highly regarded, and they've got a hell of a thing there. It's a very fun video game. So those are 2 that I've been chasing and having a great time with.
Oh, you know what? 2023 video game release, Fights in Tight Spaces on the Nintendo Switch. There you go.
There it is.
I haven't actually played any of my copy. I bought that day one, though. I bought it day one.
Well, that would actually, this is a great segue, Chase. So why don't we talk a little bit about the big elephant in your room? Give me, again, 2 to 3.
Where'd it go?
I'm about to point it out. 2 to 3 games.
I lost track of my elephant, guys. I'm sorry.
Where's can't play. Elephant? You have to play without the support of a roulette wheel. So this is your 2023 backlog. Where is it sitting?
Like stuff that came out this year that I'm still working on.
Yep.
Well, Johnny's already mentioned some of his.
Yeah.
With Octopath. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and I guess I also mentioned mine too. I need to get back and do that DLC for Fire Emblem. I need to go back and play Advance Wars 2. Yeah, I mean, outside of the actual backlog wheel of non 2023 games, yeah, okay. Here's one for you. Humanity. That's one Yeah. That game was super cool. It came out at the exact wrong time for me, since I was ass deep in Zelda. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna be proud of that saying. That's a good saying. Yeah, like that's a cool game, and I would like to play it for myself, and that's something I will probably do when things just calm down a little bit and I can find some time and get excited about more video games.
Johnny, you've mentioned a few things. Is there anything else that's floating around out there that you want to spend more time with this year?
Yes. Aside Octopath, Hi-Fi Rush, because I adored what I played of that game so far. Yes. And fuck, it was just at the front of my mind, and it vanished. Oh, RE4. I want to finish RE4.
Yeah. Very fair.
I was having a great time with that, and then something else came out. I'm like at the halfway point, so it's like Hi-Fi Rush, RE4 are very doable because it's like 8 to 10 hours a piece to get through those. So yeah, Octopath, Hi-Fi, RE4.
Very fair. Chase, I'd like to get back to Advanced Wars. I have not put a ton of time into that.
Yes. Also Advanced Wars. There's too many fucking video games.
Let me ask this. I know I kind of said I've soured is too strong a word, but I've gotten a little chilly on Fire Emblem. I have not heard you guys talk about Fire Emblems after like 2 weeks of it being out.
I played some Fire Emblem about a month ago. I thought that we talked about it.
Yeah,
like offline. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've made
missions.
Pretty clear that I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I just really had a hard time with the characters and the story, and the combat's really cool in it. But I really liked my crew in Three Houses a whole lot. I really started to care about the characters and just immediately know for all the story stuff they were doing for me.
Papaya.
So I mean, it's a game that I feel I should spend more time exploring and min-maxing the combat stuff, but I was pretty lit down.
I skip all the cutscenes.
I think that game's got enough of a cast that you eventually find the ones that you like, but I completely understand that there are some that immediately turn you off, and
I think
they're
it's
going
much
to be
weaker
there for a little bit.
Yeah, in that regard than Three Houses, which is a shame.
I think I need a little bit more help with the strategy too.
Rules in that game.
I mean, it's also just a little different in that Three Houses kind of gave you everybody at the very beginning, so the people that you didn't like, you could just ignore because you had all the other people that you did like. Whereas this game, like a traditional Fire Emblem game, trickles them out one by one, and so you do kind of have to live with your party longer. And so I can see how, oh yeah, I like Dimitri and Dedue or whatever, so I'm gonna totally be okay with not caring about Annette or whoever.
Sure.
That's just not the way this game works.
Can't believe none of us said Crime Boss Rocket City.
God, we'll talk about it at some point.
It's my upcoming.
I'm sorry.
On the console I'm gonna play.
I'm so sorry.
Like, I gotta wait.
That's entirely my fault.
I've got a lot of games I'm still getting through, no thanks to Zelda, but games that I have like actively not been playing that are still on my radar to come back to, I should say. I feel like I should spend more time with Metroid Prime, but at the same time, it's a very old game. So now my mind's like, well, this has already been out. It's just a remake.
I bought that too, and I got a good way into it. God damn it!
So I've been thinking about that one, but I really want to get through Everspace 2. Like Everspace 2 and Cassette Beast are pretty close for the campaign to be done. So I want to wrap up both of those. Yeah, but my actual backlog, I would say I quick looked it with Chase, but Industries of Titan really stood out to me this year as something I liked a whole lot. I had a great time digging around in there and playing that one. And then another game that I have not spent more time with since it came out this year, really at all, is Phantom Brigade. I think that's a really cool game. We also quick looked that, and it is out in 1.0. And I'm hoping to play more of it. I didn't mention it earlier, but next week I've got a new handheld coming in that some of these games that I have on Epic or GOG or Xbox, I've got the ROG Ally getting delivered, and I'm going to be able to play a lot more away from my computer. So I'm hoping that I can use that as like a pure backlog device. Is kind of my goal. I was going to use it for Diablo 4 as well, but I want to use that when I'm like just chilling on the couch, maybe working through some of my backlog on that. But yeah, those are the things for me that I need to get through, which leads us to, we need to make room because we are at the halfway point of the year. We've got Key 3 happening. We know.
Sorry, you guys forgot to mention Redfall, the game you definitely want to get back to and play more of.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Bobby took a long drink of water on that one.
Yeah, well, that's vodka. I'd like to know. Obviously, we're going to break some rules here because we typically don't talk about games with you all until we're ready to talk about them and the public's ready to have them with our monthly preview episode. But in the spirit of Key 3 and the summer of games that follow him, assuredly there's going to be some new stuff that we get excited about. But
I hope so.
Look, man, like I think this has been one of the best years ever personally, but we're very different when it comes to those things. I would love to know if anything that you know confirmed with the date this year, what's out there for you right now that you're looking forward to getting to.
Ooh. Can I go?
Please.
Sure. Well, we get Final Fantasy in this month still. Pikmin 4 comes out in July. Armored Core 6
for that.
comes out in August. And I've never really played an Armored Core game, but I love FromSoft, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out. We get Mortal Kombat 1 comes out in September. Yep. And there's more I feel like I'm missing, but I feel like that's enough for right now. There's a lot of fucking games coming out that I really want to play.
I'm excited for Pikmin as well. I've never played those, but after playing Tinykin, I feel like I'll enjoy myself quite a bit with this one. I'm looking forward to that.
Baldur's Gate 3 comes out
Baldur's
this year.
Gate. I was getting ready to say that. Baldur's Gate and Assassin's Creed are both games I'm looking forward to. Spider-Man, I think, looks like a good time. Yes. Less known, there's a game called Gunbrella that Chase and I checked out on the stream. I think that's a really cool game that's coming out still. I think that My Time at Sandrock as well as Slime Rancher 2 are both slated to come out this year. There's a game called Pal World, which looks absurd. This is like the Pokemon with guns, which I want to see more of that. And then another one, I think it's this year. I was really taken by SteamWorld Build. I thought that was a hell of a thing, and I'm looking forward to seeing. Okay, I can't wait to play more of that game. So I'm excited. There's a lot I'm excited for sure.
There's a few things that have me interested. Unlike Johnny, I do not care for FromSoft games, but I do like robots. So I too would like to check out Armored Core 6. I might not like that game, but I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah.
Speaking of games I might not like, but am kind of interested in wanting to check out is Arc Raiders. That trailer was just so cool, and I know it's going to be a live service game that I'm not going to want to play. I already have one of them that I also don't want to play. And I certainly don't need a second one, but I like the art style. I like the vibe.
Is that still like they're still working on that, right?
They're still working on it. I don't think it has a release date exactly.
Well, no, because they announced it. They showed that kick-ass trailer you mentioned, and then they have this game, The Finals, which has had multiple betas.
That game looks crazy.
They're like pushing this game so hard, and they didn't even announce it. This came out of nowhere, and I haven't heard anything about Arc Raiders.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since we heard about Arc Raiders, but that
could change. Could change this week.
Could be cool. I am still I guess take this with a grain of salt, but I am a backer for the Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, which is the Suikoden developers making a new kind of Suikoden game. I think that game still looks really cool. I bought Ayuden Chronicles or Ayuden Rising, whatever that one was, the Rising one, the one that's like a side scroller action style game that takes place in the same universe. Haven't played it, but I'm much more excited for the turn-based RPG that is more like Suikoden. That's supposed to come out this year. I mean, we know 16 is coming out very, very soon, but we have some other Final Fantasy games on the horizon as well. FF7 Rebirth is supposed to be Q4, so we'll see if that hits. But I'm excited to see what wild directions they go from here with that. I'm also just again, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I just want to see what Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is, which is supposed to be that kind of, hey, we threw all the Final Fantasy VII stories into one thing. It's not going to be on a platform you want to play it on because I think it's mobile only. But I still am kind of interested in seeing how they do like the Final Fantasy. What do they call it? What was the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition? Yeah, that was it.
Yes.
And this feels like, hey, we made like a Pocket Edition for all of Final Fantasy VII, and I think that's kind of interesting, just as somebody who is more interested in the lore of Final Fantasy VII, but doesn't necessarily want to pull out a PS2 copy of Dirge of Cerberus and go through all that bullshit. So I think that'd be kind of interesting. Destiny 2, the final shape. We need to finish this fucking fight, and this is the end of that Light and Darkness saga that they're talking about.
Did you watch the leak cinematic?
No, I have not. I've seen no leaks. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's
something
fucking
I should
awesome.
check out. I mean, I'm not worried about spoilers, so I'll just go and watch it myself.
It's the what's the big baddie in this one now?
The Witness.
It's the origin of the Witness.
Okay.
It's fucking awesome. It's
cool.
so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they finish that story. The reason I'm kind of not so hot on playing a bunch of this season, one is Zelda, and two is
Sure.
It's just kind of, hey, we're doing a side thing that kind of doesn't matter, and we're all just kind of waiting to get to the final shape. And I was like, all right, let's just get to the fucking thing. I just want to see the end of this story so we can figure out what goes on next. I just want to kind of close the book on that. So that's exciting to me. And then it hasn't gotten a release date. I extremely doubt that it's going to be this year. But the game I'm probably most excited and interested about of everything that I've mentioned here is the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Like that thing looks really cool. That's the one I want. It's Dragon Quest, which I've been getting into a lot in the last handful of years. It is some good ass turn-based RPG-ness with class systems. Ooh. Love a good job class system, and that's exactly what this game does. I really like this HD 2D art style. The Live Alives, the Octopaths. Even if I don't like Octopath itself, I like the art style, and
it's very slick.
That is a classic game that I've always wanted to play and have multiple different kinds of versions of it, from the Game Boy Color version to all the other ones. But I haven't pulled the trigger on actually playing it, because once I heard that this remake was happening, I was like, okay, that's the one I want to play. So that's the one I'm waiting for.
Nice. Last question. What do you want to see announced this next week? Like, what is the one thing either that's been announced you want to see more of, or something that you really want to be, like, what are you hoping to see? We've had the PlayStation event. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up. What are you looking forward to?
I know. I want a close look at Disavowed, which is the Skyrim-like, if you want, that Obsidian has been working on. Their fantasy RPG that they're making, that they teased, I think, 2 years ago now.
Yep.
And it feels like enough time has passed. They should be able to give us a proper look at that game. So I'm really hoping we see some of that.
Really quick, I'm just making sure I'm right. Nintendo has not announced anything formally, correct? Like a treehouse or anything like that?
Nope. There's like rumors swirling that there's going to be a direct, which
like there's generally a direct, historically there's a direct around a certain time, and but I don't think they've formally said.
So Johnny, you're looking forward to Avowed. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Chase, what about you?
I feel bad about it, knowing where the money comes from, but I still want to see more about Metal Slug Tactics. That's that's the one I'm excited
Where's
about.
The money come from?
Where's the money come from?
The Saudis. Yeah.
Well, hey, they bought golf now, so.
Yeah, they did.
Not that I watched golf at all to begin with.
No, not that I care about golf generally, but the idea that that the PGA immediately went back on its fucking morals as soon as the money made sense to them. Like, get fucked, golf. Can't fucking believe it.
Metal Gear.
I can believe it. I'm sorry. I very much can believe it, but it's still fucked.
The clip of the PGA guy saying, "Well, nobody's perfect," when they brought up
DeChambeau. Yeah, that interview is fucking wild.
Funded 9/11.
Yeah. They just had bad information. Sorry that the other players that got hosed out of hundreds of millions of dollars, and they just had bad information. It happens to everybody. Sorry. I'm not gonna give my money back though. Absolutely not.
I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I I really would love to see what Fable in 2023 looks like. I
didn't
have
say
some
Fable because I knew you were going to.
Yeah, I have very fond memories with Fable 1 and 2. But they
Love
did
those games.
They did a very cheeky commercial last week, or I guess post on Twitter, where it was the Fable music and it was glitter going from a controller on Xbox over to a keyboard, and it had the date and the flyer for this. And you don't do that, one, if you're not going to show something that people have been begging for more of. That would be a really bad move on top of other bad moves this year from Microsoft. But I'd love to see what that looks like. I'm really curious.
I mean, I'm also curious, but it's kind of I know Peter Molyneux is a guy who shoots for the stars and often misses. But him no longer being a part of Lionhead and Microsoft to be a part of the Fable franchise, there's a part of me that goes, I don't know if I'm as interested in what a Fable without him at the helm looks like, even if the things that he made were misses. Because I think you need somebody like that. I don't necessarily believe in the auteur theory of, oh, you can't make a Metal Gear game without Hideo Kojima. I mean, obviously somebody's going to try, but I think he adds something to that I just don't know when you get out of a Fable without him.
The Forza crew, and I'm really curious to see what they do outside of a car. Like I'm just fascinated to see.
The wheels on the wagon are going to be so fucking round. They're tell you that.
So round. So yeah, I hope to see more from Fable. I really want to see that. It's I just got to call it out. I'm not surprised for the three of us, but it's just weird that the very first new IP from Bethesda is one that like not brought up here as things that we're excited to see. Like that's pretty telling. Not that like we're here. I mean, I don't know, maybe we are, but I think that's a pretty telling thing that Skyrim being of importance that it was to us, the enjoyment we've had with Oblivion and other older ones. It's just fucking wild to think that we have a new Bethesda IP.
You already know you're taking me out of the equation on that math, because that's just not my thing, especially these days.
You like Skyrim?
I enjoyed Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas, which kind of is half Bethesda, kind of. We've talked a lot about Bethesda stuff in the past, and I've certainly had strong feelings about Bethesda.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Nobody said anything about Silksong either. So
we know better.
Because that game doesn't exist.
Well, let's wrap it up here. That was a fun little jaunt down Bethesda's shitty past, but we had a lot happening tonight with the games that we've been playing, but also looking ahead a bit and looking back at the same time with our mid-year check-in there. So we talked a lot about Sandtrix, Starship Troopers, Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6, a little bit about Jedi Survivor, and then we broke down games that we want to get back to this year, games we're looking forward to, and what we hope to see more of the next week. So next week we will be back on the 14th to chat with you and give a full proper recap. We're only going to cover the shows. We're not going to talk about the games that we've been playing that week. So we'll have things that we enjoyed.
That's great, because I am not going to play any games within the next week, probably two.
Chase, we know, we've known for a while. But yeah, we'll be making some time to talk about games that Chase won't play in the future versus games he's currently not playing. And with that, this week we played Showgunners. Well, I played Showgunners, and Chase was there to cheer me on a Casual Monday stream. That game continues to be.
I'll watch a video game any day of the week, but play a game? No, thank you.
And we put a quick look up for Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun with all three of us on that quick look. It was a great time. This was episode 328. Tomorrow, all three of us still together for a quick look at the Miasma Chronicles. Enjoying that quite a bit. So you'll see more of that tomorrow. And then Friday, Johnny and I are going to continue the trend of going to hell on Friday. So come in a handbasket with Johnny and I as we get through Diablo 4 I will not be level 50 by Friday night. Never mind. I was gonna say I can Paragon, but anyway, that's what we've got going on. If you want to follow along with it, you can hit those links there in chat. Chase, outside of not playing video games, what other video game related content have you been making?
No video game related content, but television related content, absolutely. I have a television podcast I do with our good friend Pierce Corshane. It's called Pilot Program. We watch the first episodes of every television show ever made. We are on episode 11. It just got edited and posted today, so it's out there now. We watched The Shield, so you don't have to. Don't watch The Shield. The Shield is bad. But it was a really good conversation. We had a fun time with that, and we've announced that our next episode is going to be on Hell's Kitchen. So a little Gordon Ramsay for you.
All right.
So a show I've never seen, but I know the Gordon Ramsay shtick, and it should be a fun time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we will be back Friday night right here on Twitch with more Diablo 4. If you want to find out about any of the things that Chase has mentioned, his link is in chat. Our link is in chat. We've got a lot of stuff that you can get tuned into. But we will be back with you on Friday. Everybody, thanks for watching. Take care.
See ya.